Today we're doing sautéed mushrooms with Brie. Now Brie is often a cheese that you use for holiday events and it's wonderful, but it's often sweet, so I'm going to use with sweet toppings, so I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've got 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're going to put that in, let that melt a little bit. While that's melting, let's go ahead and look at the Brie. When it's melted down a little bit more, it's medium hot skillet. We'll go ahead and add some onion and garlic and cook that briefly. The Brie is generally a cow's milk cheese. Now when you bring it home, it has to breathe because it's mold on the outside. It's actually a kind of penicillin, so it's mold ripened. And as it ripens, it breaks down the proteins, also breaks down some of the fats, but as it breaks down some of the proteins, you get this ammonia smell that will come out. So sometimes when you open Brie that's been heavily wrapped or kept really cold, it'll give a lot of ammonia smell out and you'll say, I don't think that's very good. And so, but if you let it sit at room temperature from anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, you can even let it rest a little bit longer than that. You can either slice it and just eat it as is, or you can do what we're going to do with it today, which is bake it a little bit. I think we've got this going far enough along. I've got a tablespoon of minced onion, so a very small amount of minced onion. Try to make it as uniform as you can and fairly small. And then also at the same time, because we're only going to let this go for about a minute, I'm going to add a teaspoon or 1 clove of garlic to it as well. Just stir that around enough that it's not going to burn. We just kind of want to get the raw taste out of it. And so I'm going to move it a little bit quicker than I probably would otherwise. And I'm going to add 8 ounces of Cremini mushrooms. Now, you can either get them pre-sliced at the market, or since it's the holiday and I got them pre-sliced, so you can see there's some big bits and little bits, or you can go ahead and do your own. If you do your own, if it's for a party, it's going to look a little bit better because you're more apt to do it a little bit more evenly. I'm adding a ½ teaspoon of both salt and pepper, and a teaspoon of chopped rosemary. And we're going to we're going to stir that around and let that cook, again, still over that medium-high heat until it starts to turn, the mushrooms start to get golden brown. So that may take anywhere from, depending on how high your heat is and how everything is going at your house, anywhere from generally 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want it going really, really fast, but you do want it to start to release some of the moisture. And when you're choosing your mushrooms, make sure that the gills are not visible, that it's still closed. You also want to trim the ends of them. If you're using a big portobello, which is just a baby portobello, then you want to trim the ends too. You probably want to take the whole stem out of the middle of those. You can take the stems out of these also, but it's not necessary. Now, while this is cooking, you can go ahead and get the Brie going. Now remember, you're going to have gotten it out of the refrigerator at least a ½ an hour ahead of time. Put it on parchment, have your oven preheated to 350, and this is also going to go into the oven long enough for it to get warm. You're going to eat the rind, so don't try to peel it off either before or after you bake it. There's a lot of flavor there, and some people consider it sacrilege if you throw that rind away. So you're going to put this in the oven somewhere between 5 to 12 minutes at 350 to 375, and you can give that variation because different ovens are going to have different temperatures. Once it's done, you can touch the top a little bit and you'll see how it's got more give. If you did that when it was still warm, it wouldn't be anywhere near that soft, and so that's one of the ways that you can tell when it's been cooked long enough. We'll see if I can make this transfer. All right, and then serve it with some fruit and some crackers, and then put those mushrooms over the top. And you're going to have people in line to get this one. It is so good. Slice the cheese with as thin a knife as you have, and just make little wedges out of it. It's going to be great. I hope you'll give this one a try. It'll make your holidays even happier. For Oklahoma Gardening, I'm Barbara Brown, and this is Sautéed Mushrooms with Baked Brie.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.